Hello everyone, it is Thursday, and that means it's time for one of my weekly draft videos. I post one every Monday and every Thursday. Been a while since I've drafted Dominaria. Drafted all the first few videos like in a row because of some traveling and other things I had to do. So it's nice coming back to it, especially because my start to the format didn't go super well. This format is really fun though. It's slow as hell, which is what I love. That's my favorite kind of format. And it did lead to me, and I'm going to release a video about it in a few weeks. I think my limited review was the most wrong I've been ever in a limited review, and I've been doing them for, I guess, like 3 years now. And that's because this format is so slow that cards that normally, like Blackblade Reforged, would be horrible in a lot of formats. And this one, it's incredible. So it's hard to know what's going on. Okay, well, this is a fairly easy first pick. The Weatherlight is incredibly powerful. You do have to end up with a decent number of historic cards for it to be at its best, decent number of creatures that can crew it, etc. But that's not a huge ask in this format. If this bomb rare weren't here, what would I take? Well, I would probably take Eviscerate. I think I would take it over Danitha. Yeah, I would. It would be Eviscerate. But we're going to take the bomb, so that's what we'll do. So yeah, I mean, historic cards should go up in value for us a little bit. We do want to be like a 15 creature deck. We want to have a decent number of creatures who have at least 3 power who can crew it. But again, those are all things that happen even if you're not really trying. But when we're evaluating cards, you know, things that are like 3/2s are going to be worth a little more than they would be normally. Or the 2-mana 3/1, for example, is worth more than it would be normally. That doesn't mean we're going to take it over like a removal spell or something, but it's perfectly fine to take over like other random 2 and 3 drops. Okay, so Sheevan Fire here, yeah, I think that's. Well, there's also an Eviscerate though. This pack is strong. I mean, Arvad is pretty good. Ansara's Wings is super swingy but still good, strong card. Also historic. But I think it comes down to Eviscerate or Sheevan Fire for us. And I think I like Eviscerate a little more. This format's so slow that there are a lot of bombs, and if you cannot kill those bombs, well, they're going to kill you. So I think we want a card like Eviscerate. Sheevan Fire is good too, but I like Eviscerate more. Well, this pack, huh? Probably Academy Journey Mage. Even if we end up with 0 other wizards, it's a good card. It also has 3 power, so that matters. Omnivore is okay too, but it's not better than the Journey Mage, who's certainly... I think Journey Mage is just the best card in this pack. You know, Llanowar Elves and Llanowar Envoy rather, Grow from the Ashes are both fine, but Journey Mage it is. I wish there was a Goblin deck in this format. Okay, that is a relatively late Baloth Gorger, but you know, it's not that late. It's easy to imagine there being 3 cards in this pack better than Baloth Gorger. Don't like the black cards here very much. Don't like the blue card here very much. Don't like any of the cards here very much, other than the Gorger. Now, we could take the Journey Mage. I mean, maybe we're not playing Eviscerate. I think the Journey Mage and the Soothsayer the Gorger are the best cards. That's what I mean to say. Gorger is going to be better a majority of the time, but if we end up in a wizard deck, the Journey Mage is quite good. Can also crew the Weatherlight though, so can the Gorger. I think I take the Gorger. It's just so much better than the other options in that pack that even though it's not in a color we've already looked at, we're going to do it. Okay, don't really want Wizard Retort. Yeah, so Dark Bargain's pretty good. It's definitely an overperformer in this grindy format. Llanowar Envoy is nice because it has decent stats and it can help you splash. We did just take a green card. Yeah, I mean, Windgrace Acolyte also fine, but nothing special. I'm kind of leaning towards the Envoy. I mean, it can help enable us to splash either Eviscerate or Journey Mage if that's something we need to be doing. Dark Bargain, though. Yeah, I think I like the Envoy more, though. Yeah. Okay, Llanowar Elves this late is a very strange thing to see, and I think it's definitely what we take. Even over Gideon's Reproach, You know, this format is mostly slow, but Llanowar Elves can enable some explosive starts that can really catch decks that are sort of just dirtling unaware, and I think that's why we take it. Gideon's Reproach is fine, Journey Mage is fine. I mean, this is more than fine. It's a good removal spell, but it's not a premium one, I don't think, because it's so situational. And I wouldn't take any non-premium removal spell over Llanowar Elves. I'd take Eviscerate over it, but and things like that, Sheevan Fire, but yeah. So okay, what do we have here? So we do have another Journey Mage. We've seen like 1,000 of them. Elfin Druid's fine. It does, you know, when you have the Weatherlight, it does suck to have a 2/3 sometimes. The Confessor can be kicked into being big enough to crew the Weatherlight, and it's just a decent creature. I think it's probably just better than Elfin Druid. But if I cut green, you know, who knows what might happen for me. We did pass a bunch of green earlier in this pack, though. Yeah, I mean, these two are close, and it's kind of looking more likely that I play green at this point. So, Druid it is. Another Druid. Probably the Spider, though, we want more. It's one of the cards at common that really enables decks to just make aggressive decks unable to effectively attack you anymore. Wild Onslaught's okay. This Memorial is not. Maybe I take the Reproach here. Broken Bond is a good sideboard card, though. Yeah. Well, I think we take the card. I mean, green is clearly very open, and this is the kind of sideboard card that we'll bring in multiple times, probably, and definitely at least once. So I think we take it. I'm not a big Gaia's Protector fan. It can crew the Weatherlight. Gift of Growth is an okay trick, though. So I think I'll take it. So what is our second color? I don't know. Because we're taking another good sideboard card here and Pierce the Sky. Shield of the Realm is historic, but yeah, it's not great. You know, and right now we don't have any other historics for Weatherlight to hit. But even if you can't draw a card every time you hit your opponent with it, it's still good. And we'll pick up historic cards. It's not that hard. I mean, 4 or 5 of them is pretty easy to do. So yeah, both of these are splashable too. So we could end up being like a base green deck if we pick up Grow from the Ashes and Skittering, whatever. The Skittering things would be really good because the Weatherlight can hit them and draw them too. And we could just be like a base green deck splashing good single-colored cards from other colors. Splashing Journey Mage is a little greedy. I have done it before, and it worked out okay. But I was also splashing Tatyova when I did it, so it was, you know, if I didn't have the Tatyova, I don't know if I would have done it. But, yeah. This is the one source of fixing we have, and it's not great, but it, you know, if you're playing one basic plus the Envoy, that's not too bad. I'd still rather have a Skittering Surveyor or a Grow from the Ashes plus, you know, the backup of the Envoy and various other things. But okay, well, I think we're going to take a Power Stone Shard. I don't know that we're going to get there on actually playing them, but that would be fun if we did, right? I think if I had 2 of them, and yeah, I think then there'd be a chance that I play them. I haven't seen anyone make effective use of them, or yeah, I haven't made effective use of them, and I haven't seen anyone else do it either. It's hard to do. Okay, Navigator's Compass is like a really crappy source of fixing, but it's more likely to make our deck than Memorial to War, so it's another historic permanent too. We only have one card that cares about it, but it is our best card, so I think green's the right place to be. Other than that, we'll just have to see. Yeah, it's so funny that this card is... There's a bunch of cards like it in the format, but it's one of the ones that really... Clearly R&D were like, let's print a bunch of common creatures who just brick wall all the mediocre 2s and 3s in this format. And most of the 2s and 3s in this format are mediocre. So they really can't get through a Mammoth Spider without a Jousting Lance or something. And I think that's really, it's really nice, especially after Ixalan. Masters 25 was really nice and fun and slow, and I think this format is about as slow as that one was. So, though I did really well in Masters 25, and so far here, you know, about 50% win percentage. It'll get to 60 probably. In Rivals of Ixalan, I think I was at 57 or 58 at the end, and that's like the lowest I've been since I've like been addicted to drafting, which is like the last 4 years or so. So hopefully, I mean, we'll get above 48. I can tell you that. Move this over here for now. I mean, yeah. You know, more Llanowar Elves would be great. Just open another bomb. Just that is... The good news is if we do open another bomb, we can play it. Basically no matter what, because we are only committed to one color really after that first pack. So we don't have to, you know, we just grab that thing and go for it. I'm not sure yet whether cards like Broken Bond or the white Destroy Target Artifact or Enchantment card are main boardable yet, but it's pretty close to being main boardable. I mean, I think that they're like comparable to like a mediocre 2-drop in this format probably, because mediocre 2-drops in this format are almost always irrelevant. I mean, unless, again, your deck has Jousting Lances and stuff. But you need are cards that have value. So, this isn't quite a bomb, I wouldn't say. But, you know, if this were pack 1, pick 1, I'd consider taking it. So, Baird is good. Settle the Score is also a very good removal spell. Cloud Reader Sphinx is good. Blink of an Eye is good. I think we got to take Settle the Score, though. It can kill anything. Yeah. And we've already got the Eviscerate, so that sort of locks us in, somewhat at least, into black-green. And I think that's the right place to go here. Just because it's the best removal spell in this pack, for sure. So we'll take it. Okay, there is an Elfin Druid, if we want to be doing more ramping, and I guess we do. The Skin Witch is okay. Cloud Reader Sphinx is good, you know, if we're still thinking we might go into blue. The Sapherd's also good. But I think I like the Druid a little more. More ramping, you know, the more mana elves we get, the more consistently, the more like high drop cards we can play in our deck and feel fairly confident about, basically. Yeah. We do have one card with Kicker already, too, so there you go. So, creatures who can crew the Weatherlight on their own that are making the cut, for sure. We've only got 3 so far. Yeah. Oh, we actually have 2 cards of Kicker already, so that's good. Yeah, if you can get what's a Who's It from the Ashes, Grow from the Ashes, this you can like kick it on like turn 3, and that can be ridiculous ramp wise. Okay, so we don't actually have any Saplings or Fungus yet, but we're in the color pair that has the most of them. For that reason, I'm considering the Thallid. We could just take another Envoy who can potentially help splashing and can actually crew the Weatherlight. But it seems sort of improbable that we end up with no other Saplings or Funguses, you know? So I think this will probably prove to be better than the Envoy. The black cards here are fine but unexciting. Yeah, let's take the Thallid. I think, you know, if I weren't in black-green, I would be less inclined to do it, but since I am, I think it's what I go for. I mean, 3 Saplings can crew the Weatherlight just as well as Llanowar Envoy can. Looking unlikely for you, Journey Mage. Okay. I do like Dark Bargain in this format, but we'd probably just take Juggernaut. I mean, it is you know, it's an old school card, but it is still pretty good in limited, and it's historic, and it can crew the Weatherlight. So those are all good things. Yeah. Like I said, Dark Bargain's a card I like too, but I think Juggernaut's better. So we will take him. Attacking every turn might be sort of a problem, but like, you know, he can take down. Sometimes he trades down, but not by much because he's only 4 for a 5/3. So most of the time he's either trading even or trading up. So, especially if you can put equipment on him and stuff like that, that's when he gets to be a real problem. Especially if we're playing him on turn 3. Yeah. That would be nice. Man, Raf Kepeshen is good. So is Hazardous Bombardment, though. And Raf isn't in either of the colors we're deep into, so we're not that deep into black, honestly. But there's no good black cards here. The one green card here is fine. I think I take Haphazard Bombardment. You know, it's another card that was hard to judge, but because this format is so slow, being a 3-for-1 that occurs over 3 turns is actually pretty good. So I think I take it here. Maybe we can splash it. We definitely would like to see some fixing, but it's definitely worth taking over a card like Corrosive Ooze, which is pretty underwhelming. It is not, I mean, Corrosive Ooze is better in this format than I sort of expected because of how important Jousting Lance basically is, the common equipment that lots of people run to help them get through board stalls, and it does blow that up. But yeah, not pretty. The thing I don't like about the card, and the way I think they should have designed it, is that it blows up the equipment as soon as it blocks it, but instead it like waits a turn, which is really annoying. Okay, we have a Thallid Omnivore, who is a fungus, and who can crew Weatherlight. We also have a Caligo Skin Witch, who is fine. In the late game, making your opponent discard stuff's nice. We already have some kicker payoffs. We have some ramp. So it's between those two. I think it's probably the Witch. We're not ending up with the Saprolings I was hoping we'd end up with. I mean, we still could, but yeah, I think I take the Witch here. And basically, I'm going to put her at 5. Usually you want a kicker, so she's not really a 2-drop. She's not really a 6-drop necessarily either, but we just want some Skittering Surveyors here. Help us out. Ooh. How about that? Huh. Grand Warlord Radha is really strong. Deathbloom Thallid's good, don't get me wrong. And Fungus and Saproling and all that, but man, she is really good. The problem is we lose our 2 best removal spells. We still have Haphazard Bombardment, and what we're giving up is Deathbloom Thallid, which is a good card that would make our deck. I think Grand Warlord Radha is so good that we do have to take her. She's also historic, which doesn't hurt. So we got to think now. I mean, we have 2 really good red cards, and so that's worth keeping in mind. So Easter Glider does fit into our deck nicely. Lawnmower Scout isn't something I'm impressed with. It doesn't really ramp you enough. People think of it as just being like any old mana elf, but you have to have you have to keep drawing lands for it to keep ramping you, and that's not going to happen. Whereas like Lawnmower Elves doesn't care if you have lands in your hand. I think we take the Glider. We could take the Raider, who is fine. But I'm not sold that we're not just splashing red. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Glider. Because we could be a black-green deck, and in this last pack, pick up a bunch of fixing and splash both Grand Lord Radha and Haphazard Bombardment, and that wouldn't be a crazy scenario. So Blood Tallow Candle is a nice little removal spell, and if we are going to go red-green, losing Eviscerate and Settle the Score won't hurt as bad. I think it's probably what we want here over another Glider. Yeah. When I say nice little removal spell, I mean it's pretty mediocre, but it is removal, and if you really need removal, you can play it, and it has the random historic synergies too. So if we ended up red-green, we could still at least splash Eviscerate if we pick up Fixing. Okay, here there's not really anything very good. I think probably just take our Servant, who doesn't do a ton right now, but does some things. Can untap our Weatherlight or our Juggernaut or whatever. Yeah, what we really need now are, like, if we want this deck to really get off the ground, is stuff to ramp into, and then the deck could get pretty crazy. Okay, so Ooze versus Raider. Ooze might not even make the cut if we end up, yeah, and this is just a better card, considerably better card, so I think we take the Raider. Yeah. Is this our deck? I don't know. Could be. Okay. Flame of Keld isn't especially good. So we could take another Servant. I guess that's what we do over these other things. Yeah. Maybe we'll get that Traxos guy in the last pack. That's where we'll take, or Icy Manipulator. Any cards like that, it can really abuse. Urza's Tome, to some extent. Gilded Lotus. I'll take the card that's on my overlay. I mean, we're not going to play it, or the other card in that pack, so. I mean, ideally, we find a way to play Settle the Score, too. Ideally. This is the deck where we kind of wouldn't mind if we could get a Verdant Force in here. That would be pretty good. With all the mana that we have, especially with Warlord Rada now, too. I mean, she can produce ridiculous amounts of mana. Okay, I mean, I guess maybe we play you, but not without any sagas, we don't. 2 mana, 2/2s in this format. Like, sometimes you just have to play them. In a lot of formats, you just have to play them. In this one, that's just not true. So, like, they're almost Fs in this format. Like, especially the vanilla ones, like Cabal, Evangel. Oh my god, there's Traxos. Well, isn't that interesting? So, Jaya's Immolating Inferno is great, however. Well, we have 2 legendaries right now. So if this is crude, we can cast Jaya's Immolating Inferno because it becomes a legendary creature. Crap. I think we got to take Traxos at this stage. I just don't. We have to end up with like 5 legendary creatures or planeswalkers to feel good about this. And it's just unlikely. Granted, if we take Traxos in this Wheels, then I think we really seriously consider it, but it's just such a huge setup cost. So, yeah, I think we take Traxos here. He combos with our Voltaic Servants, and that is pretty fun. And we have enough Historics. Is he just Artifact? Oh, yeah, we have enough Historics to support him anyway, so. Fire Fist Adept. Well, we don't have enough wizards, I can tell you that. Another Llanowar Elves. Steel Leaf Champion. I mean, our deck is very, very green. I think Steel Leaf Champion is probably good for our deck. So is Skittering Surveyor, though. Man, can't you guys spread yourselves out? I would love a Llanowar Elves, a Skittering Surveyor, and a Steel Leaf Champion, but I guess that's not how things work. You're not going to make the cut, buddy. Man. Because the Surveyor could help us splash this Eviscerate, or alternatively, the Grand Warlord Rada and a Haphazard Bombardment. But I think we just take Steel Leaf Champion. I mean, it can just steal us games. There's going to be some games, our deck's going to be able to play it on turn 3, and sometimes on turn 2, especially if we can get another Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I think we got to take the Champion. As hard as it is to cast. That may end up pushing Eviscerate out of our deck, we'll see. So the Mending of Dominaria is kind of a cool card. It basically draws you stuff back from your graveyard. Joyrus Familiar doesn't seem bad in our deck. But I think perhaps taking Llanowar Envoy is the best thing for us. Gives us a little more fixing. Jousting Lance is nice too. I mean, this format is grindy enough that this does just turn into like a 5 mana, draw 2, and then put a few lands in play, but that's still not great. I think I take the Envoy here over like the Lance. Yeah. That does give us more fixing. I still would really like a Skittering Surveyor, but, you know. Okay, well, I think the Sheevan Fire officially puts the nail in Black's coffin in our deck. Yeah, it does. It's a great removal spell, so it makes it so that not playing these doesn't hurt as much. Though, again, if we could splash Eviscerate potentially, so we should keep our mind open to that. The deck looks like a lot of fun, that's for sure. Weatherlight and Traxos. So another Raider or another Mammoth Spider. I mean, if we go with the Mammoth Spider, that's like a better place for our like very green deck. The Raider, I think, is a better card. But the double red is a little somewhat costly because of our Steel Leaf Champion nonsense. I mean, we do have 2 Llanowar Envoys who can help filter. I think I'm going to take the Spider. Thran Temporal Gateway, no thank you. Sparring Construct. Yeah. Power Stone Shard, I mean, it's a late one. Doubt we get more. Lava Runner is just bad. Could take Sparring Construct, but we have plenty of historic stuff in our deck already. Enough that I'm not like, yeah, we really need to run a card like Sparring Construct. Let's take the Shard, I guess. There were like no good choices there. Okay. So yeah, in the end, we really have not ended up. I mean, we went out of black, and we've passed a few like Thallid thingies. But in the end, we really didn't end up with that many. However, Thallid Omnivore is probably... Oh, wait, we're not playing black anymore. What am I talking about? Yeah, no, we're not playing black. So, what I was saying is probably Memorial to Unity. It can help us find our Traxos or our Grand Warlord Rada. Unfortunately, this is not a creature for its purposes. This could sort of help us splash a little more, but I'd rather have Memorial to Unity. Elfin Druid or Arbor Armament. I already have a Pierce the Sky in my sideboard, so I think we take the Druid. We already have one of them, and it's not very exciting. The second one isn't either, but I think we still take it. So here's a bunch of red cards. Cyclops. Like, I'm really tempted to just like almost go mono green and cut this other Keldon Raider because it makes Steel Leaf Champions just that good. And it's not like we're going to be playing red, but I don't want to play double red very much in this deck if I don't have to. Like, so I'll all that said, I still think we take a red card here over a very mediocre green one, but what I'm saying is, oh god. We got the Journey Mage because I talked too long. Well, it's not terrible, but I was going to take the Cyclops. Well, we're going to take another Keldon Raider now because the other stuff here isn't very good. Should have been looking at my clock, clearly. So that kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. With the 2 envoys, like, I think maybe we can pull off running one of the raiders at least. And just running like, because our deck does not need very many mountains. Especially if we don't run Keldon Raider. Our deck needs like 5 or 6 mountains. Between the envoy and, yeah, the 2 envoys. So... yeah. Well, the Adventurous Impulse isn't a bad thing for helping us find said mountains. Yeah, we never ended up with anything great to ramp into, which is a little sad, but it's not a huge deal. I mean, Baloth Gorger can become something to ramp into because of his kicker, and so can these Druids, though they're not the most exciting. He's a little more exciting. Yeah, so, you know, we lost 2 really good removal spells, but I think, like, Sheevan Fire, Blood Tallow Candle, Haphazard Bombardment are removal spellish enough that we'll be okay. So this does not pump anything in our entire deck. No. So it's just a crappy 2-mana 2/2. So I think it may actually get axed. Yeah. Do we mainboard a Broken Bond? I don't think so. With the Impulse, the 2 Llanowar Envoys, do we want to try to splash Eviscerate? Nah, I don't think so. I think I am going to run a Raider. Yeah, I think it's good enough. Well, another Impulse is interesting. Yeah, when we gave up that second Llanowar Elves, we gave up the chance of like pulling off turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion. Like, I mean, we could still do it if we get really lucky, but that's like ridiculous and limited. So, I think I can get away with running like 6 mountains, 11 forests, because of the envoys basically and the Adventurous Impulse. You can all find me the color I need. This deck has strong cards in it. I mean, Traxos plus Voltaic Servants is very strong. Weatherlight's great on its own. I mean, we do have a bit of a problem with the Weatherlight in that we don't have single creatures on the lower part of our curve who can crew it effectively. But we do have a lot higher up on our curve. We have enough. I mean, you know, we could consider running the Journey Mage and cutting the Raider for that reason. Maybe we do. Raider is definitely a better card. Wish I had that Cyclops that I meant to take. Okay. So I need to cut something. Journey Mage being able to crew this, is that worth it over like... No, it's probably not. The Raider just brings so much more late game value. Yeah. I think this is our deck. I think we need that Memorial to Unity in there. I think we run... is 5 enough? Probably. It probably is. Worth noting that we actually have 2 elves who can add green, so that does increase the number of our green sources for our Steel League champions. So maybe I go 6-10. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alright, this deck looks fun. We have lots of silly things going on, and we'll see if we can pull off some sweet stuff with it. I'll see you guys in the first match. Alright, going into our first match, we would like to play first. And we have a landless hand that we immediately mulligan. Alright, this one's solid though. Yeah. Wish we had like a Lana Elves so we could play turn 3 Grand Warlord Grotto, but we could still actually draw one. So, could happen. Could happen. Have early removal, we have a 3-drop, we have a 4-drop. I mean, not much to be upset about. Yeah, sure, we'll leave that on top. We'll play this mountain. I doubt they'd play something we want to Sheevan Fire on turn 1, but, you know, just in case they do. Okay, so now we'll play the Blood Tallow Candle. End our turn. Ooh, there's Traxos. So, I'm going to play the Envoy here. So, does our opponent have counter magic? Well, it doesn't look like we're going to find out because we can't play Grand Warlord Grotto anyway. Let's go to combat. Then we'll try to play this Druid unkicked, obviously. We don't have a million mana right now, so... This is going to be when we draw our Steel Leaf Champion, when we have... We do have access to 2 greens, I mean, it could be worse, but... Okay, great. Okay, Thallid Omnivore. Land here would be good. Okay, we got it. So I think... We play Grand Warlord Rada here. And we attack with her and the Envoy. Which gives us 2 mana that we won't have anything to do with. Which is a little sad. But that's okay. So at some point we can use the mana that Rada produces to actually like do something. Hopefully. Oh. Bye-bye, Traxos. See you later. That's no fun. You know we have Sheevan Fire now, too. So we could, like, if we can attack with these 2 again, we have mana for Blood Tallow Candle, for example. Jump attacks are always a real possibility, too, if we're just trying to produce mana. Okay, so... Did they just play that Llanowar Elves to draw out my Sheevan Fire? Maybe. I think we still cast it. Because if we do... Yeah, they got something. Oh, just sacrificing it. Duh. Still, I think killing it is worth it there. And we'll play out our Glider and our turn. So we're out of gas, but I think I like our board state, especially for Gliders allowed to attack. He's not. Good old mammoth spider. God. Alright, so I think we have to play this because, you know, we want to have blood tallow candle. So the cool thing is I can actually attack here and then use the candle. Yeah, so I think that's what we do. We attack with the glider and then use the candle to kill this and get in for the 2. So we attack. We add red. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, God. I mean, I still get to kill the thing, but I wanted to kill it before so that I could get in for 2 damage. Clearly, yeah, I don't have a hold on my attack. So, yeah, not so good. But we still kill it. Our opponent is at 11 instead of 9, and hopefully there isn't another spider to be found. They do have the memorial, so they can get it back. But that will take a turn. Oh, good. They can just make like a crap ton of saplings. No big deal. Okay, so definitely attack with our glider here. Add some red to our mana pool. Drop them to 9. So the sapling engine here is really potent because they can make them and then have this eat them, which will gain them a total of 3 life and do 1 to us, and etc. So it's not great news. We can untap our glider though, which is super important when your creature can't block. Confessor. That means no saplings this turn at least. Hello. That will be quite helpful. Alright, so we're going to attack with the glider again. Pow. Drop them to 7. Okay, they're going to Ancient Animus it in the face, which, you know, whatever. Still get our mana. And we still have... We have a new flying threat for them to deal with in the Weatherlight. Actually, it's just Weatherlight, but you get my point. Alright. End our turn. Hopefully it can draw us into more action. So right now, they can get back... Can they get back their spider? This costs 3, and they have to sack it. They can get it back, but they can't play it yet. So that's good news. Here's Grun. Doesn't concern me a ton. I would actually be more worried if they were doing all this sapling nonsense. All right, so we're going to crew the Weatherlight. And we're going to attack for 4, and hopefully also draw a card. Do we hit a card? Probability says yes, but we don't. So I guess we actually have hit an inordinate number of our historic cards already, so probability didn't necessarily say we would. I'm going to hold on to the little card in my hand. I'm going to untap the Weatherlight here. They're at 5. Do I just take a 10 from Grun, or do I block him with, like, my Voltaic Servant? I feel like the Servant's actually more useful than my Druid right now, so let's block with the Druid. So the problem is, at any given time, they can actually gain a bunch of life right now. So, because of their Saproling plus Thallid Omnivore shenanigans. So that's something to keep in mind. Question is, do I Impulse first? I think I'd rather... Well, I guess having more information is worth it. We'll Impulse. Okay, there's Steel Leaf Champion. And we do have the mana for it. But we're going to crew... Yeah, we'd rather have a 5/4 blocker right now, obviously. So we're going to crew the Weatherlight. Is it allowed to do its thing? We'll add green. Okay, the opponent goes to 1. Give us a card this time, please. You do! Another Voltaic Servant. Hey, that doesn't hurt right now. It is another blocker. And when your opponent's at 1, creatures with 1 power are pretty good. So we're going to play the Servant. And the Champion. We'll have them both untap the Weatherlight. So it's super untapped. Not just sort of untapped. Alright, we got there with the Weatherlight. Despite, yeah, they would have been dead there if I'd blown up their Mammoth Spider in the order that I actually wanted to do it. Yeah, I don't see a reason to bring in Broken Bond or Pierce this guy here. So, we have our 2 Power Stone shards. No, we don't even have anything to ramp into, really. And we have enough ramp as is. Alright. Weatherlight does win games, man. They made us discard our Traxos, so... Okay, this hand is fine. Hopefully the Impulse finds us a cheaper creature. So far, the double red thing has been a problem. We just had it. Hey, there's a cheaper creature, but still. We're going to Adventurous Impulse. I think we'd rather have the Spider. And we'll end our turn. End our turn again. So I probably play Keldon Raider on turn 4. Not the Gorger, because maybe I could play the Gorger later as a 7/7, right? And Deathbloom Thallid is annoying. Okay, so we're going to play Elfin Druid. Difference is the Gorger can just block this thing. I mean, this, you know, there's no good reason to trade here when our opponent gets a Saproling out of the deal. So we're not going to, but... Double Deathbloom Thallid. I mean, I guess we can just wait till we can play our Spider. The Raider can let us loot, and it looks like we want to. Rummage, rather. So yeah, we'll play the Keldon Raider here. We will discard a mountain. Hey, there's Traxos. They're going to divest us again. I know it. I can feel it. Should I attack with my Druid and just say what the hell? Have a Saproling? Yeah, I think I am. Yeah. I'm going to take 6 on the backswing, but this way I get in for 2. So we're not that far away from being able to play Traxos and Voltaic Servant in the same turn, which is the ideal thing, because if Traxos comes into play tapped, I mean, that's pretty ugly. I haven't seen this card work out before, but this is a pretty good scenario for it to work out for our opponent. They're going to be more conservative now with their attacks, though, that's for sure. Okay. Because of this, I'm kind of more tempted to just play Traxos here. who can really threaten their life starting next turn. Yeah, I guess we attack with our 2/3 again, too. Yeah, trade up, get a sapperling. Works for me. I mean, I'm not trading up. I didn't mean to. Trade up isn't the words I should have used there. Trade away is what I should say. So we're going to go to 13. They're going to go to 22. So right now, next turn, they're getting a 11/11. So that'll be fun. Okay. So they can defend themselves pretty well against Traxos, unfortunately for us. Still, I think we make them do it. So I'm going to play Voltaic Servant. It's going to untap Traxos. So that 11/11 is going to be joining the party. But we're going to thin out the rest of their board while we wait. So, yeah, we definitely want to kill these two. They got a couple sapperlings, and they're about to go to 11 and have an 11/11. I'm going to play the Gorger in my turn. Goodbye, Mana Spider. Okay, so Blood Tallow Candle. That can definitely help us kill this thing. And I'm also going to play Elfin Druid without the kicker. This is when I wish I was blue so I could, like, that's what this is horrible against. Just bouncing that is, it's ugly. They could get back one of their creatures from their graveyard here. No. So we're going to have to chump here with Voltaic Servant, I think. No, they decided not to attack. Okay. Fine by me. Alright, well, we're going to end our turn. We can't really attack through that 11/11 right now. Yeah, that's not good news. Okay, so +4/+4, huh? 7, 9. I don't have the mana to like use this and this, so it doesn't really matter right this second, but it will be useful at some point, I think. Luckily, they can't hit this. They do know I have it now, though. Which, at this stage of the game, may actually be worth a single mana. Okay, that's going to help things a little. Alright. This trigger's killing me when it doesn't do anything. It's very frustrating. Okay, so if I attack with everything, it gives me 5 more mana. We're at 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. That does give us enough to, well, more than enough, to Blood Tallow Candle plus Gift of Growth. So, I think it's risky for sure, but this 11/11 is a real problem. I think we attack with both of these and see what happens. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kick this. Again, it's very risky, but we're gonna lose otherwise, so let's take the risk, man. And then we're going to do this, which probably means they kill our this guy, but because of sacrifice it or whatever. But if we can get this out of the way, we'll be pretty happy. But it looks like they have their own gift of growth. Okay. Well, that just completely blows us out, and we're probably unable to recover. Should we have just stayed in that board stall? Maybe. We're going to take 11. This doesn't really matter at this point, yeah. And we are dead. Okay, so we did see maybe a reason to bring in Broken Bond. But we have to be able to blow it up at the right stage. Like it's not always going to work out for us is the problem. In fact, it usually won't. So I don't think we do. I would like to play first. Ooh, this is the turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion hand, and we're on the play. We are on the play, guys. We're gonna live the dream. This is an achievement in this format. Play a turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion in limited. Achievement unlocked. For the most part, our opponent hasn't been having fast starts either, so hopefully this works out for us. Hello. They're gonna play theirs now. They could have like Vicious Hunger right here, just boom. It's not Vicious Hunger, but Vicious Offering or whatever. They don't, so that's good. All right, so we attack. They can block it, but not very well. Attack with Steel Leaf Champion. Alright, they get it for 5. And, yeah, we play our Druid and our Candle, I think. Well, this time Divest gives them information that I have nothing, but I don't know if that matters. So, the question we're left with here is whether they have their +2/+2 trick. Because it's a legitimate risk, I think I'm actually only going to attack with my Crows and Druid and wait until I can leave mana up for Blood Tallow Candle to attack. I think playing around the trick is wise. Yeah. Right, gets us in for 2 by playing around. That indicates even more that that's their plan, because normally I think what you do is just trade, because you know, you're actually killing a card and you still get to keep a Saproling. Although maybe not. I mean, they don't get to keep the 3/2 who can actually block this if they did block there, so. Mammoth Spider. Okay, that's opens up some opportunity for us here for sure. Okay, we don't want Adventurous Impulse because we want to leave mana up for Blood Tallow Candle. So, yeah, we definitely attack with our champion now. And if they double block, we get a blowout. If they don't block, we drop them to 8 and then probably cast Adventurous Impulse and see if we can play some other guy. Okay, so we're going to get the, it's a minor blowout, but it'll work for me. Kill that. Kill that. They get a Sapperling. But a Sapperling can't block this guy, so end our turn. Where's our Haphazard Bombardment? That's something that would be nice. Miss again. Yeah, the Divests have not... When they hit Traxos, it hurt a little bit, but for the most part, they've just been blanking. So they have 4 mana for a trick here that would give this +4/+4, right? But their creature would still die, and it would be a 2-for-1. So let's Adventurous Impulse. Ooh. Rada for sure, right? Yeah. We can just cast her right away. And then attack with Steel Leaf and Elfin Druid. Not that we have anything to do with the mana. Well, and Rada too. Sure, give me red mana, please. Ooh, great. I mean, I was worried they'd have a trick, but turns out they're just out of stuff. They know we already have this land in our hand, so we might as well play it. Does turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion lead us to victory? I think it might. Oh. Now I definitely think it does. I think we attack with everything. Yeah, we just attack with everything here. They're tapped out. And then Gift of Growth puts us over the top no matter how they block. So, oh, I don't actually have to tap any mana. Let Rada finish them off since hitting her off that Adventurous Impulse was big. Of course, I can't actually see the message they sent me because Magic Online's so great, but if you're watching this video, good games, man. Having the turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion is very hard to overcome, and you did a pretty good job of staving me off longer than I thought would be possible. So, alright, see you guys in the next match. Alright, going into match 2, we would like to play first. And this is a pretty good hand. I think we play the Memorial to Unity tapped. We're not doing anything on turn 2 right now anyway, so we can Adventurous Impulse then. So that seems fine to me. We have the Envoy. I mean, it is a source of fixing for us, so we do technically have all 3 of our colors. Yeah. Play the Memorial. End my turn. I bet these were legendary early on in design, and they just decided that was too good. They didn't want to have Ravnica. Mirror didn't happen again, where they made lands have a type that made them like completely broken. All right, so let's Impulse here. What are they going to do? Opt-in response? Ooh, so Weatherlight's going to the bottom, which is not really where I want it to be, but that's okay. Things happen. Yeah, alright, play the land. Actually, I said we don't actually have 3 colors. We just have 2, but we do have a double red, but now it doesn't matter. We're where we need to be. And they did opt. I think I may play... Like, which 3-drop should I play? That's the question. I think I'm going to play the Glider and try to get a clock started here. Dies to everything, but the Envoy does too, honestly. So, you know, Sheevan Fire would kill it. So would lots of other things. Okay, well, if they're going to deep freeze something, I don't feel too bad about it being my Easter Glider. So, we can kick this next turn if we play Elfin Druid, so I think that's just what we want to do. That way we power out the bigger version of him, and we can still build our board here a little bit with our Voltaic Servant. We can untap our Glider. Oh, you know? Oh no, it took away his inability to block. I was going to say, is that like a sweet combo where it can't attack or block? No. It took away all its abilities, so it can in fact attack or block now. Okay, so let's attack with our Servant, see what happens here. I'm a little worried they have counter magic. We could try to play around it until they tap out, which might just be the best thing to do. It probably is. Because we can still continue building our board here, and yeah, so yeah, we can kick this now, but there's too much playable counter magic in this format. So we'll just keep going wide here. You'll untap yourself. Vigilance. Okay. They have tapped out now. So play this kicked Gorger. Oh, right. Oh, I tapped this incorrectly is what happened, actually. I was like, I should have enough mana, but I tapped it for only the 1 green. Whatever. We will untap our Glider. Glider plus Rampaging Cyclops is not a good combo. That makes my Baloth Gorger a little sad, though. They can just double block. We do have Juggernaut at least as a follow-up. I think we just have to. Do we have to? I could just play Juggernaut and pass. That may just be better. Yeah, it's better. Oh right, he only costs 4. I always, for some reason, think he costs 5. That wouldn't be nearly as good. So I think we probably crack our Memorial to Unity at the end of their turn, which we can do if I play a Forest, right? Yeah. Try to find Rada or something, or Traxos, obviously, is really good right now because we have our combo going. And it would make it a lot less painful to lose our Baloth Gorger. Yeah, these are silly because they're actually really good defensively and not that good at attacking, which feels so strange for a red card, but it works. He can't, I mean, flavor-wise it makes sense. A Cyclops can't keep his single eye on 2 creatures at once, so he's less effective, you know? So it's a cool design, but feels, I mean, I guess it feels red enough. Usually red's downsides are things like attacks every turn or does damage to you or something like that, though. But, you know. What do they have? Goblin Barrage. Oh, my poor Juggernaut. Well. Hey, Traxos. So, I think we want Traxos more than Rada. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. We have the combo in play for Traxos. They could disrupt it, which would be a problem. But Traxos is large enough to be of real concern for our opponent. So we know we have it in our hand now, but I think we attack here with our Gorger now. Right, we kill one of the Cyclopes. That's the plural if you didn't know. I think I'm going to hold on to the Envoy for now. Traxos immediately comes untapped. Opponent still could have all kinds of ways to interact with our board, unfortunately, and our creatures are not. The creatures we had who could get through the board have been dealt with, although Traxos can obviously too. Definitely bringing in our enchantment / artifact. Hey, we have only seen one enchantment, but I think it's a safe thing to say they probably have at least one more deep freeze and probably some artifacts. Wish my deck had a, what's it called? Fungal Plots. It's my favorite card in this set so far, and it would be good in our deck. Ooh, that is a good card. Okay, so, you know, if we get a 2-for-1 here, I think it's worth it. I wish we could do more than that, but we just can't. So they keep playing enough power, and it's largely thanks to those Cyclopes, and we don't have a trick to back it up or anything. They're just going to take it, which works for me. We now want to start trying to go wide, although it's not that easy given that two of our creatures have no power. But so they're going to start drawing cards off of every historic spell they play, which further indicates I should be bringing in my artifact / enchantment hate card. So Weatherlight's near the bottom of our library, and so is Grand Warlord Rada. So that's not so good. We really need a flyer right now. And they shut down our other one, so we're going to have to get pretty late into this game to draw our Weatherlight. It's like 17 cards deep. So we got to just try to win this thing. I mean, Traxos is basically a bomb in our deck, but in some ways, this deck doesn't feel as grindy as most decks are in this format, and you know, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it is. You know, we don't have ways to get stuff back from our graveyard, so that's a big thing in this format. And drawing extra cards like Joyra can. Our deck doesn't really do either of those things very effectively. I mean, we do have the Impulse and the Memorial to Unity, but those are really just card selection effects, not card advantage effects like Joyra. And they've been deep in thought on every one of their turns, which is a little scary, I feel like. I don't think they have a way to kill Traxos because they would have done it. Well, I think that they're trying to figure out what they should do is... I mean, maybe they have the... No, they don't even have the mana. I was gonna say, maybe they have Jaya's Immolating Inferno, but they don't have the mana for it. It costs 2 red. If they had 2 red, a second mountain in their hand, they could do it and kill 3 of my 3 toughness creatures, which would probably be these 3. And that would be bad for us. They'd also draw a card off of it, because why not? So we'll just have to see. Yeah, our deck, I guess our deck kind of sort of tries to be one of the explosive ones with the early ramp, and you know, we do have some bombs. But yeah, we need something like Fungal Plots to really grind out a game in this deck. Journey Mage, okay. So we can like double block Traxos now without it being as painful for them. Ooh, are you gonna go on the attack? No. Interesting. So now they can double block and only lose one creature, which kind of sucks for us, but if that creature's the Cyclops, I'm not going to be too upset about it. It's still a 2-for-1, basically. So, I think I actually attack with all 3 of these. Because he can only trade with these. He has to double block the Traxos to kill it, and he has to be double blocking it with Rampaging Cyclops as one of the creatures. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. Wish we had like an Icy Manipulator or something too to really abuse Voltaic Servant. All we really have is our friend Traxos here. Okay. Alright, so I think we kill, even though this is annoying, this I think is more annoying. I think we kill the Cyclops. Drop them to 9. Play another Voltaic Servant. And yeah, definitely a problem our deck has is we have a lot of ramp, but we don't have a ton to do with it. But we're doing all right. I'm not saying that our deck's horrible or anything. Just I really wish there was a Fungal Plots in here somewhere, because it would we would just be turning these creatures into saplings and drawing cards and gaining life. Warcaller, okay. Oh, good. Wow, that is aggressive. Don't really want to be drawing more lands right now. Alright, so I mean, I have no problem throwing Lana War Elves in there. We don't really need that mana. Yeah, trade with that, go to 6. These 2 guys are going to untap one another or themselves, not really paying attention to their trigger. Sheathen Fire would be nice. Yeah, they've been stuck on 4 for forever, which definitely helped us. We do want to bring in Pierce the Sky and our Enchantment Artifact hate card in this matchup. This game, I think we're going to lose, but there are a few things we could draw that could change that. That's not one of them. So they're going to hit us for 7 this time. Theoretically, and they can. I mean, we can only crack back for 3. Yeah, they were stuck on 4 for forever, and I'm sure these Sphinxes were both in their hand, and now they're like destroying us. Why'd you get more scared? I guess because you have lethal next turn either way. Interesting. This can actually buy us some time. No, it can't. No reason to show them we have it either. Because I can kill one of these creatures, potentially, or the Arcane Flight, but then they... Oh no, it can. Yeah, I guess we'll show them, because this can actually get us back in this thing. If the next card we draw is a good one. Anyway, so... Do I put one on Arcane Flight? Oh, it's not enchantment, so I don't have to even think about it. In their mountain. So we have to kill one of these creatures or we're dead. Basically. Yes. So hopefully that's what it does. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Damn, we got the mountain. Okay. We just need to do that turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion thing again. Alright, so Pierce the Sky and Broken Bond both need to come in. Our Mammoth Spiders are going to be nice if we get them. So, what do we cut? That is a good question. I think we want our flyers. I think it's pretty clear their deck, I mean, other than Arcane Flight, can't really deal with flyers since they decided to slap that ice block or whatever onto our Ether Glider so quickly. Don't think we want to lose Blood Tallow Candle. It's probably like Elfin Druid, which is a kind of grindy card, I guess, but it's not amazing. Maybe Blood Tallow Candle it is. Could also just be Adventurous Impulse. So just like a, yeah. It's not an impactful card, really. And these are going to be very impactful in this matchup. Alright, give me the turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion hand. Okay, he didn't give it to me, but this hand's fine. No red mana, but we'll get there. He said foolishly. Alright, so player Memorial, end your turn. There's our friend Traxos. Probably go Druid, Traxos, Juggernaut ideally. We never did see any of that counter magic. Well, now maybe we play Rada. We'll see. Okay. I mean, if we play Rada, that sets up... I had 2 mana. I can't actually do anything with it. So it may be better to wait to play her. Oh, we're definitely attacking. And yeah, we're going to play Traxos here, I think. Nah, not Traxos. Probably the Juggernaut, because the problem is if I play Rada next turn, it won't untap my Traxos. So, I think we just go for the Juggernaut here. Yeah, this little combo hasn't been as impressive as I hoped it would. I mean, it's been fine, but there's so many good blockers in this format that double blocking him and only losing 1 card really isn't like an insane thing to expect. Deep Freeze, that's what it's called. Okay. So I can get up to 3 mana right now. I think actually playing Mammoth Spider is better here. Juggernaut with Defender and a wall that is like really offensive to Juggernaut because he hates them walls. Alright, so we're going to play the Spider here, which should be able to mess up out of these. Sphinx. That card is really good. Such a good blue common. Now it kind of feels like I took too long to play Rada. I could use her red mana too to play this Keldon Raider, but I think I'm just going to play Traxos here and end our turn. You gonna bounce my poor Traxos? No, you're gonna bounce that so you can hit me. Suppose that makes sense. This does open up room for Rada to do some things. Yeah, opt. Okay. Oh, it doesn't tap Traxos. I'm stupid. Forgot it's not artifacts. Alright, so this is going to hurt them. And then we can play our Spider again. So, I think that's what we do. We need that Spider. trade with... No, you're just going to take it all. 7, 10, 12, okay. Does that mean there's an arcane flight in my future that's just going to, like, crush my soul? Yeah, I should have played Rada earlier for sure. Played Traxos earlier and then Rada. It would have been much more explosive. I mean, it was pretty explosive there, and we're in the late game now, so... You have another Journey Mage. So they bounce this. Ooh. So all they need is a spell, and we're dead. Doesn't look like they have one. Yeah, I mean, Juggernaut can block this, obviously, so there's that. And they decided not to, yeah. Okay. Alright, so we take 6, we go 4. So what we need is to draw... Oh, that'll work, won't it? Yes. That will get us there, because we can go Sheevan Fire on the Journey Mage and attack for 5. Yeah. Alright, we get to match to game 3. Hopefully I don't make a stupid mistake involving Traxos in this one. Alright, this is another good hand. We've had turn 1 Memorial to Unity in all 3 of these games, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, we need red mana again. But even if we don't draw it, we have plays. So, and we drew it anyway, which is nice. I could play the Mountain there so that I can hold up Sheevan Fire, but if they really play something I want to cast Sheevan Fire on, I can wait to cast it. I don't have anything to do in turn 2 anyway. So, ooh, that's interesting. Right, so now we will leave up Sheevan Fire, because it can kill Oddiles. Doesn't look like they have that, though. So, I think we just power out Rada here, right? Yeah. I think that's what we do. It's not Steel Leaf Champion, but it's still pretty good. So she attacks. We'll add red in case they flash in something with 2 toughness that we need to Sheevan Fire. And I'll end my turn. That guy. Okay. We can kill it eventually. Actually, we can kill it now with Sheevan Fire. That might just be the best thing to do. We could actually attack with both of them and then use the mana to cast Sheevan Fire to kill the Cyclops. Because then we'll have 6 mana. I think that seems pretty good. Gets me in for 1 more damage, too. This time I need to make sure. Alright. Okay. Kraken for 4, drop them to 13. Cloud Reader Sphinx. You are annoying. Yeah, I guess they do have a bunch of their own flyers, like Easter Glider gets stonewalled against them. Okay. So we do have some free mana on the table that will allow us to play 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the kicked Baloth Gorger, which is pretty good. So, because we're going to attack with Grand Warlord Rada because she can't die, and maybe they'll be afraid we have a trick. I wish our deck had more tricks, actually. That's for sure. Wait, what? 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 8. God. Oh, I should just concede because I'm such an idiot. Wow. Read the card. That's always important. I don't know why I was thinking it was less than that. So we're going to play the Glider, and we'll crack our Memorial to Unity at the end of their turn. We're only one away from a kicked Gorger, so I think it's worth the wait. Oh, Rada. See you later. Hopefully. Do they go on the attack here? No. Like a Jousting Lance would be nice. Okay, we hit our stupid Weatherlight again, which is less than what I wanted. I think we take the Champion. We can actually cast it this turn. Hey, there's a trick. So the question is, do we play the Steel Leaf Champion or do we play the Kicked Gorger? I think the Kicked Gorger is better right now. Oh, we can't kick the Gorger anymore anyway, because Rada was the one helping us get there. So, I could attack and use Gift of Growth, but I think I just want to play our Champion, who will be good with Gift of Growth. Journey Mage. Alright, well, we're going to attack back with our Flyer. Yeah, still, I think we just play our Champion. Wow. Yeah, back-to-back Journey Mages like that is brutal. Okay. Let's give this another try. This time we're going to play our 7/7, because we actually have the mana to do it, yeah. There he is. Where are the cards we cited in? Particularly Pierce the Sky, you know? That would be really great right now. We really need to pierce the sky. That's what we need to do. Okay. So we will block one of these guys. Okay. So they're planning on attacking us back for lethal this turn. Well, hopefully that's what they're hoping. I don't really see a reason to attack with our elves, but I think we attack with both of these. And if we can use our trick to take down a Sphinx, that's great. And then we can play... If we don't play the trick, we can play Envoy and Steel Leaf Champion. Because they have to block here or they die. They have to block one of these two creatures or they die. And if they don't block the Gorger, I can pump him big enough to kill them. Yeah. And they only have 1 blue mana, so I think we're actually in pretty good position for this turn. So, do I attack with the elves too? It just isn't necessary. It doesn't make much of a difference. And it would allow me to play both the trick and the champion in the same turn. So... Right, so let's just go for it with Gift of Growth. 1 blue, I don't think they can do anything to stop this. Yep, exactly the 9. None of those games felt like they were really going our way, but we managed to win 2 of them anyway, so I'll take it. See you guys in the next match. Alright, going into the final match, hoping for a trophy. We would like to play first. and I think this is a reasonable keep. We do have our combo in our hand, which is nice, and you know, we don't have we don't have a third land, but we do have a 2-drop and a couple 3s and the 4. So if we can just hit a few lands, we'll be in pretty good shape. And we hit 1, which is already gotten us to our Llanowar Envoy, so that's nice. Though I may actually play the Glider first. There's something to be said for holding on to the Glider in case our Servant dies and Traxos can't do what he needs to. So let's attack here. I mean, he could cast Gideon's Reproach. That would be pretty aggressive. It's more likely to happen once... If they knew I had Traxos in my hand, they might do it. They're blue-white. The chances they play a flyer are significant. So for that reason, I think I am going to play Llanowar Envoy here. He untaps himself. Okay. So, Syncopate is so annoying. There's like an okay chance that they have it, so let's attack again, see if we can get him to cast a Reproach on this or something, so that I can feel a little more confident about playing Traxos here. Why is Syncopate at common? Is it just better to play the Gorger and wait till they tap out? They're going to have to tap out at some point, right? I could do it either way. I'm playing one of these 4s, and if it gets countered next turn, I'm playing the other one. Let's go for the more explosive one. See what happens. Syncopate. No. Wow. Okay, then we'll untap our Traxos. They could just have a way to kill him, but oh, they bounced him. Okay. Well, I don't feel terrible about that. We got in for 4, and they didn't build their board at all. Oh. Okay. Well, I think we play our Traxos again, and we try to race Zahid here. We want to bring in both our Artifact Hate and our Flying Hate here, so it seems. Like, if they play an Academy Journey Mage or something now, we're going to be pretty unhappy. It's the kind of tempo that is really difficult for us to recover from. Another blink of an eye. Basically as bad. It's close enough. Okay, so we're going to attack with both of these. Play a land. We're going to play Traxos. Going to play a Blood Tallow Candle, which could help us in conjunction with our Mammoth Spider on a future turn. And you'll untap yourself, because why not? Just in case they have a Seal Away or something. Don't have another bounce spell, please. Blue-white tempo, man. It can be brutal. We do have exactly lethal on our side of the board, though. So, like, our opponent's in a situation where if they attack with Zahid and then play one other creature, if we have a removal spell, they're dead. So I think that's why they're pondering here. I think I would attack with Zahid, too, because he also has the ability to play something in his second main phase, obviously. So, yeah, there you go. So if we draw land, we win. So that's what we're looking at here. We have 11 damage and a Blood Tallow Candle in play to kill the blocker. So let's just draw land. Give me that land. That's not a land. Okay. Well, then They've got 8 damage over there. We'll just attack with Traxos. They're in the same place, basically. Once I play my Spider, if they draw a land, they already have a land, they win the game. So it's coming down to the Blood Talc handles here. So we'll play our Spider. So please do not draw your 6th land. We didn't. So you don't deserve to. Well, that means they didn't have the 3rd land. Do they still go? No, they don't. They do not. Okay. Well, I think we send Traxos in. They could have a seal away for him, but there's no good reason not to. That's why they have 11 flying damage. So we'll attack with Traxos. Alright, well, we obviously want to kill Zahid more than anything. So we will. So, is that really all that's happening? You tell me. Okay, yep. Alright, so the question is, do we play Bombardment or Gorger or some other thing, or do I crack my Candle? We're not dead anymore to Candle being used, but I think we actually play Haphazard Bombardment here and try to grind out the rest of this game. So earlier we don't have a grindy card, but this is a pretty grindy one. So we hit the 2 flyers and planes and the Candle, yeah. We really want to get rid of one of the 2 creatures the most. Maybe I should have gone after an island to shrink him. Right. So in return, if we hit a land or the Candle, it won't be very easy for our opponent to kill us this turn, but the flyers would be even better. Hit the land. Not ultra ideal, but not terrible. Takes them off of drawing a land and winning the game. Well, except they couldn't anymore, actually, since we killed their biggest flyer. I wish I had like 3 Pierce the Skies in my sideboard right now instead of the 1 that I have. Okay, well, we are entering that board stall part of the game that seems to happen frequently in this format. Okay, interesting. So, what to do? I think playing the Gorger is probably the best thing we can do here. We can also leave mana up for Gift of Growth. So if I attack with a Mammoth Spider, and they double block, and I kick this, that gets him to 7, which is still not enough to kill them. So yeah, I think we just play the Gorger. They can get pretty close to killing us now if they draw a land, but we're going to kill one of these 3 permanents, which means they're not actually going to get that close to killing us. So, that's good. Okay, the Candle's gone. Would have rather hit both of these flyers, of course, but what are you going to do? Does he send his team in? Does he have charge or something? He does. He decided not to use it. So one of these is going to die. So instead of both. But that will be nice. It kind of is we're in an awkward place right here where attacking isn't actually that great because our opponent gets to choose which of these die, if that's what happens. Another flyer. Another servant. Okay. Kind of feel like I don't play anything here. The glider's really bad in this matchup. They just have way too many flyers. So yeah, I think we just end the turn. One of those two dudes dies. Probably use the candle at the end of their turn. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, so we killed the Tempest Djinn, which was the better, you know, it could have gotten bigger. So at least there's that. Got our 3-for-1. It just took forever. That's how this card works. I've really never had it feel bad. It would definitely feel bad if we weren't somewhat stable, but there's just so many board stalls in this format that almost always you're going to find time to play him. You don't need to draw cards. Come on, man. So I can attack with my Gorger now and not feel too bad about it, especially because of Gift of Growth. Okay, Trapper. The Gift of Growth can pump him all the way up to an 8/8, and no matter what, that kills a bunch of our opponent's crap. So, should I have used my candle on this? Almost assuredly, but I didn't. Okay, so let's attack with our Gorger. They may just double block with Night Tokens. Yeah, go all in. So I only need to pump him. I don't even need to kick it, so we won't. It's up to 6/6, yeah. Yeah, if I'd killed that, the blocks would have been even uglier, but we do still have our candle to use on something else, even though I think the optimal thing probably was using it. I think we do play our glider now, because they're down to 1 flyer. So we got a chance here to finish things off with the help of our candle, maybe. We are 2 away from kicking Crows and Druid, which would be nice, but there's a good chance we have to play it first. Oh, now they have 2 flyers. Great. It's not what I want. Okay. Do we impulse? Well, I think I attack with my glider first. If all our opponent does is trade, that's fine. If they take 2, that's also fine. They do take 2. Wow. It's brave, considering they knew I had a trickery later. They may have a blink of an eye up. That may be why. Yeah, we're going to do this. It's a little risky because we can't... I mean, maybe we hit a land it. We do. God, our Weatherlight has just been not ending up where I want it to. All right, so now we can leave the candle up, and I think that's what we do. So they could play a Historic spell and tap down my Spider. I guess I should untap the glider. But I can kill one of the sentries. Blessed Light. Okay, that does not... That's not good. But sure. It's not the end of the world either. They can't attack with both their flyers anyway. They can't even attack with one of their flyers, probably. Okay, well, that's interesting. I think that really means they have Blink of an Eye in their hand. So we'll take it. Right, and then we'll kill the other one. And so 4, 7, yeah. So if we draw a land, we can kick the Druid. Of course, we drew another Druid. So they're at 2. They have 2 blockers. Blink of an eye can't even save them. And we can play 2 blockers of our own. So I think we just attack with everything. So Blink of an Eye can save them, but it's at a significant cost. Gideon's Reproach. Okay, so we do kill both of these creatures. They go to 1. They kill one of our creatures. Now I think we go... I think we still hold on to a Druid just to be safe here. Play 1 Druid. And then 1 Servant. So they do have this, which is really obnoxious and can save them. Another turn while they attack us in the air. What does it cost? Yeah, it only costs 4. I mean, I guess that's a significant amount, actually. No attacks this time, huh? Alright, so we can kick the Druid. So we're going to attack with everything again. You can get up to 3 blockers, but they're just going to take it, yeah. All right, game 1 is ours, and we definitely want to bring in Pierce the Sky and Broken Bond. The glider's just so bad here. It can't block their flyers, and it can't attack through them, so I think we cut it. We can always go back to Adventurous Impulse. It's always a decent place to think about cutting a card from. We could just cut 1 Voltaic Servant. I mean, it's nice that it has that combo, but... We're a Druid, and the Druid's probably more useless in our deck than the Servant. I mean, it's an okay card, but it's not incredible or anything. But it's probably the Impulse. I think holding on to more creatures is probably good. Alright, we are 1 win away from the first trophy in this format and solidifying myself above 50%. Okay. This hand is a thinker. So there's a decent chance they play an early artifact or enchantment. They're running Zahid after all. And it would basically let me ramp up to my Spider. My Spider's great against them. I think we keep this. It's not a good hand, but I think it's going to be better than most 6 Scry 1s. So that makes it a lot better. So maybe we'll just draw a Steel Leaf Champion off the top of the deck too. No, we don't deserve to do that more than once in this format. In this deck, anyway. This deck is not exactly going to consistently have 3 green. Sheevan Fire's nice too. Alright, we'll attack. Dropping them to 19. Play a Mountain so we can cast Sheevan Fire if that's what we need to do. Maybe also have Broken Bond if that's what we need to do. Tempest Djinn. Okay. So that will require a kicked Sheevan Fire to take down. We're not there yet. Okay, I think we play the Druid here. Leave up the red, which sort of telegraphs some things, but it could also be bluffing. In my turn. Flyers everywhere. Do I just use Sheevan Fire on this thing? I can kick it and kill this, so I don't think I do. I'll be able to kick it this turn if I want to. I can also just play Mammoth Spider. Alright, so we're going to attack with our Druid. I think I play the Spider. We know they have bounce and removal and stuff, but okay, they didn't there though, so that's great for us. Okay, so if we play a kicked Gift of Growth right now, that will make you have 7 power and 9 toughness, which is definitely enough. But I think we kind of need to leave him back. I don't want to have to use Gift of Growth defensively. It would just be really bad when they have all their mana untapped. So I think I'm actually going to attack with the Druid and see what happens. Probably we just get in for 2. I'm perfectly happy trading a Gift of Growth for the Djinn, though. Yeah, that's not going to happen, though. So do we play our Gorger? Leave up Broken Bond, Sheevan Fire. Yeah, sure. So if we're leaving mana for Sheevan Fire, that means we can kill an Aven Sentry, like if they try to put an aura or equipment on it or whatever. So yeah, and if they play something, we can Broken Bond. That works for us. We actually have mana up for Gift of Growth too, if that's what we really want to do. We have mana up for everything. What might they have? Could have the bounce spell. That's all I can really think of, though. They don't have the 5 for their exile spell that they used on our Spider in the last game. So, what do they have? Hopefully not Time of Ice. That's about probably the worst thing for us that they could play if they played it right now, because we would just die. They'd tap down our Spider, start hitting us in the air. Even if we kill one of them with Sheevan Fire, which we would, we'd be toast. They'd just outrace us so hard. But I don't think there would be much thinking involved with that. It would just slam it, tap down the Spider, swing for 9. I mean, if they did that, I probably would kill one of the sentries with Sheevan Fire. Even though killing the Djinn is better, killing the sentry is a lot more efficient. Although I do have Gift of Growth, actually. Speaking of tapping my stuff down, so we could actually really get them with our Spider if that's what they did. Never mind. I don't even have to be afraid of Time of Ice right now. That's a good place to be. Because normally, you're very afraid of it. But not this time. Okay. I don't know what happened to our opponent. They disappeared for a little bit, but they're back now. Hopefully I edited out that massive period of like no anything. Okay, so yeah, I don't think we bother with any fire of the Sheevan variety. Okay, Elfin Druid is interesting. think I attack with the Gorger. See what happens here. They could have a bounce spell now, so that is definitely something for us to keep on our mind when we're making a decision here. Yeah, if they just take it, we're fine with that. They go to 11. We will play Elfin Druid. Yeah. Because who doesn't want more mana? Okay, well, that to me looks like we do the same thing we just did. Juggernaut joining the party is fun. Alright, so get to gorging again. Yeah, the Druid, the reason I'm not attacking with it is because our opponent can just double block it with a 3-4 and a 1-3, and even if we play our spell, we can only kill one creature. And that is not exactly worth it, so... Okay, so is this a Sheevan Fire or a Giant Growth, Gift of Growth situation? I think I'm going to go with Sheevan Fire. Yeah. Use it to kill the sentry, see if they do something in response or not. Gets us a 2-for-1 if it works out, and would create a board state where we can probably attack with all three of these creatures if it works out. Might not. So, looks like they got something for us. Yeah, Blessed Light. Okay, that is cool. Oh, I was thinking they did that to... Okay, they did that to my spider. Not as cool, but... I think I'm okay with it, actually. Yeah. So, that dies, this dies, and then we slam a Juggernaut onto the board, too. Still have Broken Bond up because of our elves. Gives us another big creature who can rumble. I'm still offended from earlier in this draft when our opponent turned the Juggernaut who hates walls into a wall. Shouldn't be happening. Okay. So if I'd used a trick there, they probably would have just killed me and gotten my guy and gotten a 2-for-1. Maybe bringing in Broken Bond wasn't necessary. I assume because of Zahid that they probably had a bunch of cheap artifacts. Okay, bounce him, sure. They're tapped out, and that is, well, basically tapped out. He's a 4-4 now, which is less than ideal. Okay. So we attack, I think, with both the Druid and the Gorger. Alright, so we're not going to kick it. We're just going to use it to kill this creature. Alright, and drop them to 7. And then we replay a better blocker, I guess. Juggernaut. And I'll play a land to leave up Broken Bond, if that matters. Okay. Ooh. That's why I have Broken Bond in here, see? Man, the really messed up thing to do, and it's probably what we're going to do, is wait for them to pay 7 to equip it. Actually, they can't for a while, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But we probably don't bother blowing it up yet, is my point. It's not a concern until it gets moved. Right now it isn't moving. We can just attack with everything, and you have to block. Yeah, I think we just attack with everything but the creature without power. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So, yeah, attack with everything, and then use play Frozen Druid and kick it. They're 2 mana away from being able to equip that, so I'm okay with tapping out here. Yep. Wow, they're going to 1. Okay. Alright, so kick away, go up to 24. Yeah, I was going to say, even if you find a way to equip Black Blade, it's not going to be enough. Alright, first trophy. That deck, you know, I had some doubts about it, but it just had some ridiculously powerful cards. And in most of our games we won was because of our crazy rares. That last game was less of that, surprisingly, but it was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys in the next draft video.